We're now going to move on to the next speaker, that is Malini Sasidharan. Malini, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, Ishita. Is it audible? Are you guys able to hear
Yes,
me?
yes, we are able to
Okay.
hear you.
So I might want to like quickly share the screen. It might take a minute.
Sure.
Uh, and please tell me if it's not clear or if the audio is clear, not clear or video is clear.
Yeah, sure.
So are you guys able to see the screen now?
Yeah, we can see your presentation.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So I'll start now.
Do you want to make it full screen?
Yes, just 1 second. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, Good morning, all. First of all, thank you, Ishita and Rahul, for this opportunity, to speak among very experienced people in their fields. And also, I've known how designed the Dialogues platform works since the beginning, and I've always looked up to the platform because I know how open and flexible it is. As most of might have read in the posters, I'm Malini and I'm doing my final year master's in public space design at Srishti Institute of Art Design and Technology in Bangalore. So I've been working. So, like, let me just give you a brief of the main project that I'm working, because I'm working on my final capstone project now, final thesis now. This is the title. It is very generic. I know when you like read it, it's empathy through design. It's very generic. So what actually it is that I'm looking at dementia care centers and to develop dementia friendly design to enhance well-being of people with dementia through empathy. So it is about how you can make spatial design in make changes or design dementia care centers so that it will have a positive impact on the well-being of people or people having dementia who lives there, and also how the spaces can cater to the activities or the preferred experiences by the of people living in the care center. So the output is basically a toolkit which will be having a set of activities which are co-design activities catered for people having dementia. So you can see here there are a few screenshots. So this is a work in progress and it's not yet complete. So these are not aesthetically pleasing. Uh, so I hope that most of you know what dementia is. It is a health condition which is more prevalent among people who are above the age of 60. It causes damage to brain cells. So it causes degeneration of brain cells, and it affects your memory, it affects your cognitive skills, it affects your moods, it affects your functional abilities like walking, etc. And it is been studied and proven that the as like all of us, even for people having dementia, the space around us affect them, and better spatial design can have positive impact on their conditions. So this toolkit will be having activities which are tailored for people, and to get or to inform to gather informations regarding the insights and preferences of people regarding spatial design, and also their preferences for their activity. For example, what activities they would like to do, what are the experiences that they prefer in the center, and why dementia center and why experiences and activities. It was chosen because that especially in our country, India, and where I did this study, till now it has been in Kerala. So most of the people with dementia, once they are admitted to the care center, they spend most of the time in the center or in their room or in that area. Not they don't actually go outside much. And also through secondary and primary research, it has been proven that people with dementia benefit a lot through activity by doing activities that they like, and also through social interactions or interactions that they prefer. And when I did a bit of primary research, I found that in the dementia care center they lack social interactions a lot, and also they don't get to do a lot of activities or the things that they like. So I'm looking at how, through these activities to find the things that they like to do, the experiences that they like to have in the space, and how we can design the spaces accordingly to cater to these experiences and activities. So, and also another thing is that these co-design activities that are planned to do are not general co-design activities. These are made in such a way that it is comfortable for people having dementia. For example, in the screenshot, you can see that it is an activity using just hands, and where they'll have to choose cards and prioritize the cards. So the cards will have information which is relevant to the design goal, and they'll have to form like numbers using fingers and touch the card. So there is not no much intensity or pressure required for the activity, and it might be very comfortable for the people having dementia. And the second part of the output will be spatial guidelines, which will be enabling these insights and these further interventions. So this is a work in progress. It's not yet done, and the limitation that I'm facing right now due to the pandemic situation is that I'm not able to test these out. But I hope that once this is over, I can test this out in the field. And some of the other ideas, because I've been interested in design for well-being for like 1.5 years, and I've been doing some researches. I know that it's not, when you say that I've been focusing on design well-being, it's quite ironical, because design for well-being is itself is such a big and vast topic. So but I've been interested in that. And one other project which is still in its ideation process, because I couldn't take it forward, was that a park which operates which is self-sustainable by economic status, and also which operates for physical health and well-being of people. So in that park there will be collective farming, so people can the research for this work was done in Bangalore, and I'm not talking about big parks, public parks like Cubbon Park or Lal Bagh in Bangalore, but BBMP parks which are there in many corners of the city. So people can come and register to do farming, and the local farmers would be teaching them how to do farming. So they can work together, and they can have an eatery where the produce from the farming can be used for cooking in the eatery, and the extra cooking or running the eatery can be bought from collective farming, or the medical center that is adjoined to the park. The money from there, or the money that you raise from a gallery space, can be used for park works, and also a free exercise and yoga center, walkways with accessible garden and orchards. And why accessible garden and orchards? Because when I did research, it was found that most parks have gardens which are either fenced or not accessible. So I wanted to make them accessible, and also a play area. And another research work that has been not complete, which is not come to closure, which is which was done through primary research during my internship last year at Mental Health Action Trust, MHAT, in Calicut. It's an NGO which provides free community-based psychiatric services for below poverty line people. This differences in special experiences of people with severe mental illness during specialized treatment and community-based psychiatric treatment. So basically, I went and did interviews or spent time with people who are availing community-based psychiatry now, and who were admitted to the mental health institutions previously, and how both of the experiences were and what they feel now, etc. So when I say that I've been interested in this for the past 1.5 years. All this came from the realization that spaces and experiences do matter, so that the space around a person actually matters a lot when it comes to well-being. So better spatial design can enhance well-being, and studies also show that happiness in response to experience lasts longer than the happiness that are stimulated due to the absence of or
Malini,
the things
Malini,
that you
we are
buy.
losing your voice. Sorry. We're losing your voice. Why don't you try switching off the video and then
Okay.
continue for what you were saying?
So, how I've been saying that spaces around people do affect their well-being, and also that better spatial design can enhance the well-being. Is it clear now? Is it breaking still?
No, this is fine, Malini. This is perfect.
Okay. And also that experiences can invoke more happiness in you. So I started thinking like how spatial design can affect the well-being of people, and also how these spaces can cater to positive experiences. So it all started from there. And now when we are in this pandemic, this situation, which is very uncertain, I think it is also a very good opportunity to start doing many things in terms of design, and the dialogues of design and well-being, and the dialogues around design need to be like more active and more participative than ever actually now. For example, it will be best if we start from scratch, rather than doing patch ups. For example, it may not be like physical starting from the scratch, but looking at the system, starting the new system, better systems or better frameworks for design, not just spatial design but for every design. And also to think more basic in terms of better development. So development actually doesn't need to mean like luxury, or public spaces doesn't always need to be like malls, or like clean parks or etc. But it can actually look we can actually look in terms of for example, you have to realize that now if you have food, shelter and clothing, you are blessed, and all other things are sort of privilege. And we need to understand that like that it is kind of a privilege. And why can't we just form strong developments in terms of these primary necessities, so that in the time of uncertainty next time we can be like more strong to face that. And also we have to start thinking that less is more. So it need not be like a global scale development or a global scale design or a very large scale project. It could be like local, it could be a small scale project. Still it could be successful and sustainable. And also we need to look at how we can bring out the balance between many things. For example, if you say public space, how can we make it more accessible for different type of people, like people from different demography, people from different genders. Like how can we make it more inclusive? And also more than everything, like how as individuals, how can we be more responsible, and how can we educate ourselves? Because I would like to say, okay, we understand that we have to sanitize, we have to keep social distance, but let's not just stop the responsibility there. Let us try to like learn about different things. For example, if you're a banker, you need to it should not be like you need not to know about climate change, or you need not to know about eco-friendly bags. Because once if you know that, you will get opinions about, you might start getting opinions about it. And the thing is, your opinions might actually make a huge difference in developing a better system and better tomorrow. So let's I would say that it is the best time now to make the boundaries very porous, and make conversations give and take. Because it is a collective effort is needed to face these uncertain times and bring in a new normal. I won't say that like going back to normal, but to go to a new normal. Thank you.
Thank you, Malini. That was very, very inspiring, especially as a thesis project. If you're thinking about it, we look forward to where all you will take it. The key
Yeah.
aspects, I think, which you sort of highlighted for us about spatial design, well-being through spatial design, and the whole idea of toolkits which are co-designed or rather participatory so that it doesn't become only the bearing of a health practitioner. I think these are very
Yeah.
key aspects which are going to be more and more essential in the times to come, and that sort of resonates with the last concept which you sort of put it out for us, the idea of porous boundaries in systems design. And I wonder what that even means and what implications it would have on our ways of living. So yes, let's look forward to again decoding this or critiquing this and over the next 1.5 day. Thanks, Malini. I'm
Thank you.
now going to invite our next speaker, Sanjay Joshi.
Okay, quickly. My name is Sanjay. I spent like 37 years working in the rural areas. My focus has always been vulnerable women, and I worked in the areas of nutrition, health, HIV, sanitation, water, and then I focused on developing, local level organizations, federations, or small community-based organizations, which basically then takes forward all your ideas and hopefully people then do something for themselves. So normally when one enters into these kind of works, or into women's lives or into rural areas and all that, normally this is what I mean. This is very symbolic. Okay, this is very symbolic. This is what I see normally, that there is a bare structure, but most of it is tattered and torn, and one needs to really really find those strong pillars in this, so that we can take our work forward. And then basically once you have sort of you pass through that, and then you start seeing a lot of different things, different color, different people and all that. So this may look very beautiful and colorful, but one gets into the depth of it. And I'm going to tell you just 3 stories and then come to something that I've been struggling post COVID. So this is my first heroine, basically Sushila Ben. Sushila Ben is basically a polio affected person. So she has to hold her leg. She also, if you look at her neck, she was burnt a little bit when she was a young girl. Sushila Ben's husband is also a handicapped person. I will use this word handicap because I've learned to use this word handicap, because then it helps me to do something rather than saying, differentially able, this, that, and all that. That's all bullshit as far as I'm concerned. But because she's handicapped, you can imagine this woman in a rural area who's also studied till 10th standard, and wanting just one of the aspects of her life is going around, say, spending 1 hour to just defecate, which is something that we take for such a we take for granted. uh, Women normally face this problem, which nobody really looks into their lives, because they are supposed to bachao the ijjat of the house, but nobody cares for them. uh, a woman normally learns to sort of control her bowel movements. She starts eating less, she becomes anemic, she has very poor menstrual hygiene, she has backaches, headaches, stomach aches. I mean, a lot of problems, yet her work level doesn't go down. The quantum of work that she has to do is like huge. And then she starts spending 600, 700 rupees on doctors, and there's violence because she has denied sex. A huge number of problems. Now, just convincing her to talk up. I'm not trying to sell a toilet to her, but I'm trying to convince her that how a toilet in the house, A, brings in reduce stress on her life, B, gets her the privacy, C, gets her the dignity. Because privacy, dignity, these words don't work with them. So basically it is the fear of being harassed in the public, when they go out to defecate and all that, which basically then works. And that's how I try to convince these women to sort of build a toilet. The next question is, where's the money? So currently the kind of work that I'm doing is where it, over the past experiences, I realized that if I don't have control over the money, I really can't achieve much. So we started a small microfinance company, and we give loans for toilets upfront. So for us, when we give a loan, a toilet is a non-negotiable. She took a loan of 15,000 rupees. That is the cost to get all the material. Normally in the field, the material is the most problematic. Nobody gives the credit. So she gets all the material over a period of time. She builds it. We give her all the support, but we don't sort of interfere. We are the coaches. We are not the main players, because ultimately she has to get the joy of building it, using it, and being part of it. So basically, though her work doesn't end, if you look at the toilet that she's built at the back, there is a stand also, which again, as you work, you start designing these things that, how is she going to squat? So this really helps her and her husband both. Now, because she starts saving time, she also helps the kids to with their education, because she is a 10th standard graduate as far as I'm concerned. And her husband has a small kiosk. So if you see, on the sides, you have these plastic bags with these deep fried stuff. So now the second loan that she took, so she paid the first loan. The second loan that she took was to buy these from the market, fry them at home, because then when she bought it from the market, she would get just 50 paise per packet. Now she can make around 2.5 rupees per packet. So this is something that helps us as we go along. It's everything is work in progress as far as we are concerned. This is Sakina Ben. She is a prawn fisherwoman. She lives in Kutch. This is a very dry area. This is something where during the monsoons, the sweet water and the salty water, the brackish water mixes, gives rise to the prawn, and these are natural prawns, and that's all that they know. So basically what they do is they dry, they boil it and dry it in the sun. Of course, we are trying to work with the solar thing and all that, but no designer has helped us out, just so that because there are other concerns that we have in terms of cost, in terms of size, because this is not where they stay. Their villages are very far off. They come to the coast for 2.5, 3 months. We got in touch with them where I met a colleague at a dhaba. We started discussing. She was in the field, I was in the field. We were at the dhaba. We met there. We discussed, and she said that they need 5,000 rupees just to get this thing going, because every time they have to come to the coast, they need some they need money to sort of buy some essentials. They need to repair their boats or their nets and stuff like that. But every time they get it from the agent. The agent then cheats them on the weight. The agent cheats them on the price. So ultimately, the women suffer. We came in. Of course, the agents didn't like it. There were swords, and we call it daria. So these are very sword-like, weapons. But these women stood their ground, and it made a huge difference with just that 5,000 rupees. Today they can sell it on their own. The next step they wanted was boats. So they bought boats, and if you see on the boat, the name on the boat is that of the woman who took a loan of 50,000 rupees. The boat gives her more ability to catch more fish of different kind also, because prawn is now getting difficult. There are other pressures. Salt farm workers have come in. The government is having SEZs coming in. So all those pressures, the women are facing. So this boat, again, as I'm saying, we were the coaches. We showed them where they could go. They went, negotiated, because this is a flat boat. This is not a typical boat, because the water levels are hardly 2 or 2.5 feet. We also had problems with, when in the field, when we would go and to the villages, the men would say, why does the woman have her name on the boat? We are the guys who are doing it. And I said, it's the women who got the boats. The second issue was the license from the government. And the government said, we've never given licenses to the women. But then again, we keep questioning and we keep fighting so that, the women get their due. And this was where, still fighting, because the government always operates from precedence. They don't have one. So we are operating on that. The third, this is Renuka Tai. As I said, I worked in the HIV sector, not per se with the disease, but more in terms of organizing the sex workers, informing their own organizations, or if they've already formed their organization but don't know what to do with that organization, to coach them to at least operate, run, manage those organizations. Renukata is one such woman from Parbani, Maharashtra. She was thrown out of her house one day on suspicion, and then, many times hunger then forces you to do something. She became a sex worker. Though her daughter, she's protected her daughter from this, but then ultimately she wanted to also, do things for other women. And when I was there, when I met her up first time, and I saw the passion and I saw the fire, and I said, yeah, this is one woman that, you really, if you can invest in her, then, she can do magic. So we first set up her organization as a legal one. We got her some funding from other organizations, and the way she managed to rally something like 600 women in her area. So the route that we chose was to form self-help groups, because, why would women come and sit and listen to your HIV discussions or any other discussions? They need to have some benefit. So we used the self-help group model. They were able to form something like around close to something around 70 to 80 groups. I keep forgetting the number. uh, they got them the other entitlements that they had to get, like a bank account or a ration card or an Aadhaar card or, an election card. Finally, these women are human beings. And then we also worked on, setting up a safe house. Somebody was ready to give us something like 10 lakhs. Of course, that person backed out later on, which was very sad. But the safe house is important because violence is a huge factor among in this trade, and she believes that, the way she suffered, the other women should not suffer. And she's been brilliant with, the kind of things that she's been able to, do for her women, especially in terms of health, in terms of their medical checkup, in terms of, saying no if, the condom use, like protecting themselves. And also, coming up with ideas where, while they are waiting for their customers, they can, on some so this is a, a bowl making machines that we got some funding and we were able to set up, and the women operate it on themselves by themselves. The last one is the current one post COVID. I work with something like 10 areas, 10 districts in Gujarat and Maharashtra. And one of the things that, though I cannot go to the field, but I've been talking to the women leaders, and one of the things that comes up is food, especially for people who earn daily and spend daily. And, one of the ideas is the grain bank. This is the new idea, so that, women can be food secure. Ultimately, it sort of boils down to the women who have to then arrange for food. And with this pandemic, many of the women have said that with men sitting around in the house, it's becoming a little more difficult because the demands go up. And this is the grain bank idea, which is based on the self-help group model, where women, we will invest around, or with seed money, with 25 to 35,000 rupees, get the requisite grain that they think they want. Since flour mills are part of the essentials services, they are always operating. So there's no question. So there's no fear that, a flour mill will not be available. And at least in Gujarat, I know that, we do like seasonal buying. Of course, not anymore in urban areas, but in rural areas, yes, or in smaller towns, they buy bulk. They know how to protect it for the whole year, and they save money. That's how they save money, and it lasts them for the year. So we are trying to work on with it. I've written a concept note for this. The operational part has also been written, and I'm trying to seek feedback from friends who are in the field. I've got feedbacks, but I mean, this group could also work on that. Maybe, how do we track it on a mobile phone or something like that? I don't know. I mean, this is what my idea is. And in terms of, the visual at the back, normally that's how I always feel. I'm always alone, and without a sail or a mast. So that's how I am. Uh,
Thank you, Sanjay. That was
I have just one small
okay.
thing, if you allow me.
Yes, please. Yes, you do have a minute or two.
Yeah. So Am I visible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So since you guys are all you have shown a lot of patience, you have shown a lot of resilience, and you have shown. I'm also a puppeteer, so I'm going to put some. Oh my. One sec. So this is a small puppet I made, and I'm going to sort of shower petals on all of you. Okay. Thank you.
Oh God. Thank you, Sanjay, for that witty sarcasm at the end of your presentation. I can, even though everybody's mics are off, I can hear the laughter. And I hope we could go beyond this shower petaling, petal showering, and all of that. But yes, Sanjay, your presentation brings up a very important and a very different edge to the whole conversation, which is about looking at the vulnerable, the marginalized, the sensitive sections of the society. And there is enough going on the road, on the tracks, but
Absolutely.
you sort of pinning it down more for us when it comes to a certain groups of communities which have been overseen or underlooked for a while now, which is
Yeah.
women, which is sex workers, and again connecting it back to Malini's presentation, that health patients also. And these are
Absolutely.
times when people who have the strength, who have the caliber, need to replan, redesign for them. Some of the key aspects like rights, dignity, health, which you sort of highlighted for us across all three different contexts, three different livelihoods, and three different challenges is enough for us to like think about for 1.5 days. In fact, it's a lot. And I
Yeah.
hope we can all thank you for opening up the idea of the grain bank as we've spoken on the phone. And I hope at least one or two teams would want to take that up or ideate
Yeah.
around it.
So Ishita, if they need the concept note, I'm ready to share with anybody. I
Yes, so
can
the
share
whole
with
idea
you
of
and you.
keeping an inclusive WhatsApp group was that when they are working on these ideas, it
Absolutely.
was Swarnima's suggestion that the speaker's details or mentor's details is available. So the WhatsApp group could be the first space where
Okay.
teams and participants could connect with the speakers, ask for resources, ask for references to ideate further about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Over to you, Sonia.